Yeah, well, I'm not going to fall down dead when we have a vegan meal.
Well,
I just throw the eggs out.
No. I would eat the tall salad and the scrambled eggs.
I understand.
I would put on top of the salad and make a new salad.
I understand. Guys, how are you doing? This is Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac the Flippin' Anderson.
I am Tyler. I'm Cold Keen.
And this is a movie show where we talk about movie news.
Movie reviews.
And everything in between. I've never called myself flippant before.
Well, this is the shirt you're describing.
I understand.
You flipped it right off the wall of a hotel room. That's where it comes from. That's definitely wallpaper that you have nicked.
I agree. Hey, my brother-in-law got me this for Christmas, and I love it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in so much today. We really do appreciate it. Without any further ado, let's get right into movie news. And the first thing up, speaking about wallpaper, Will Smith has apparently been cast as Richard Williams.
Richard, if I can remember correctly, Richard Williams was the guy who invented tennis.
No, he's the guy that invented. He created two of the best tennis players. Well, he was part
John
of it.
McEnroe and
Tyler, before we go any further, I feel like we should acknowledge: does this man have any sort of resemblance biologically to John McEnroe? Yeah.
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
Gosh,
you never know.
I don't see race, but
Billie Jean King was the other one?
it's Venus and Serena Williams' dad, Richard Williams, and the movie's going to be called King Richard, and Will Smith has been cast as the man himself. So, Tyler, what do you think about this movie?
I got my biggest question about the entire movie and thought is why?
Well, because
Why?
I guess it's a very compelling story. Venus and Serena Williams are actually like two of the best players that have ever lived, and this guy right here has a lot to do with that because he's a tennis coach. I think he still coaches them both, and I'm not really sure. Will Smith, especially now, if you see, and you don't probably get online too much, like on social media and whatnot.
I sure don't.
Will Smith's becoming a lot more prominent, with internet, videoing his life and stuff, like vlogging and whatnot. He's starting to come a little bit more in the limelight.
YouTube now.
I don't know what exactly it is, but he's becoming a little bit more mainstream than he has been the last few years. Because after the last 15 years or so, he hasn't really been as popular as he was. He used to be the biggest thing ever, but now he's kind of died out. But now he's the
stale prince.
He's the stale prince.
Yeah.
Well, now he's the king because the movie's called King Richard.
Oh.
But I don't know. I feel like there probably is some more qualified actors for this. Not that Will Smith isn't a good actor, per se, but I feel like this would probably be better with someone else. That's what I feel.
Robert Downey Jr.
I can see a Mahershala Ali pulling this off.
I said Robert Downey Jr.
Robert Downey Jr.?
He could probably do it.
No, he did that once. You know what they say? Fool me once. Shame on me. Fool me twice. That's racist.
Okay, yeah, that's probably true.
No, but overall, I'm looking forward to this movie. I think that it actually is a really compelling story. Will Smith, hope you do a good job. But yeah, maybe probably would have been better with someone else. But who knows?
You're never going to have that meltdown she had over that Japanese girl?
I don't even remember what you're talking about. I don't watch tennis.
Oh, you don't watch tennis? Oh, I don't either.
I watch movies.
That was all over the news and everything about she lost a game and had a meltdown. And she lost it by default because she kept fussing and cussing at the ref.
Well, speaking about fussing and cussing at the ref, Ari Aster, the guy that directed Hereditary, Tyler's favorite movie of last year, has directed a new film called Midsummer.
Is it boring?
It looks really awesome and interesting, and it's kind of interesting with the two white lines under the screen. I don't know if that was a stylistic choice or that's how the movie's going to be, but
is it about British murders and the detective's trying to solve it?
Well, we don't really know a whole lot about it. First off, it looks like this is a cult-ish kind of world, and someone's growing up in the cult, and then the kid realizes that the cult's really, really weird because it's a cult, and cult stuff happens.
Oh.
I think that's what the movie is. I could be wrong. But watching the trailer, I kind of get that vibe.
Well, they might live in Holland. I mean, that's...
What do you say that?
Because it looks like the whole background and their clothes and everything looks like Holland.
Yeah, and...
the Dutch, the hairdo.
What's his name? I can't remember his name, his actor name. The guy that was in Bandersnatch that played the dude. I know I'm really narrowing it down right now.
I know you're talking. The guy from...
My goodness, it's going to kill me. I should have written it down.
We're the Millers.
Yeah, that guy. Oh, well, you just missed him. But anyway, yeah, this trailer, overall, watching this trailer, I'm very excited. I really liked Hereditary. I know Tyler did not like Hereditary.
It was boring.
Hereditary I liked a lot because I thought it was a very director-centric film. I thought it was a director that had a very specific idea what he wanted and a very specific idea how he wanted things to look and feel. It wasn't cheap scares. It was very kind of slow, methodical.
It wasn't scares at all.
I wouldn't say that. It was
No
very
scary.
interesting, and I'm very interested in the way he tells his stories and everything. And A24 has a very, very, very good track record with their movies, and especially in the independent market. I'm very excited for this. I don't know. I imagine you're probably not.
Not at all.
Why not?
Because I was not pleased with I was not pleased with the Hereditary.
Well, did you not think that was a very well directed film? Like at the very least, the story
They
aside,
destroyed the end of it. The end of it was terrible.
the ending of it's bonkers. But I mean, I kind of
God
I don't think it
awful.
was like the scariest movie ever. And
I mean,
it's really
I was all getting to the drama, the family struggle with mental illness and the struggling over the death. I was like, oh, this is getting really interesting. It's not scary, but it's getting to like really interesting topic of mental illness and a family that's struggling with it. And then bam, it's just like a demon. I was like, oh.
yeah. Well, I mean, but besides that,
Last 5 minutes, there was a demon in it.
I feel like that, regardless of what you felt about Hereditary, it might have been slow, it might have been not, but I feel like that he definitely is a director that we're going to be talking about from like years from now. I feel like he's really something cool. I think
Yeah, you remember that terrible movie Hereditary? Yeah. What was that director? Oh, hold on, let me Google him.
I thought it, no. Well,
Yeah.
I'm very excited for this. Any final thoughts on this before we move on?
I hope it's not going to be like Hereditary.
Well, speaking about not being like Hereditary at all, Hello Kitty is apparently getting a film by New Line Cinema.
Is it going to be live action or is it going to be an animated or a three? My other question is why?
This seems to be the question for a lot of these topics that we have today is why?
Why? Why?
So, first off, I think I might have prefaced this. Doing a little research for the show, I didn't know Hello Kitty was actually a film thing. I thought it was just like a clothing thing. I thought it was just like an icon. It's kind of like, oh, look, it's the Hello Kitty logo. Like it's like the Abercrombie & Fitch logo, or it's like this. It's just like a brand of clothes,
Yeah, it's a little, I think it was a little comic thing.
What about?
A little animated in Japan.
I figured it's about, like Kitty goes on adventures with her little kitty friends, and they learn to, to do things like make a cake and teamwork, and, what happens when mommy and daddy don't love each other anymore, like stuff like that.
Yeah,
The last one seems kind of heavy.
Yeah.
You never know.
Or
It's a different culture.
Or, like the dangers of getting toxoplasmosis from eating a bad rat.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yep. And I think Drew and I are very on the same page. I think it's money.
Yes.
I think that's a big reason why, and obviously that's like 99.9% of the stuff they do in Hollywood is because of money. But I haven't.
They're going to try to push another anime movie. Anime live action film.
My goodness, you're going to see an interesting crowd come out for that. But yeah, I don't know. Hello Kitty, I don't think you can like ruin the franchise in any sort of way. I have no idea what you would do with the plot of this or why you would want to make this into a film.
She doesn't say anything. She never says anything.
Oh, she doesn't say anything? Have you
Never.
actually watched any of these?
No, I mean, like, there's nothing like ever said. I think they had when I was little, they had a Saturday morning cartoon from Japan for it, and she never said anything. You're supposed to project yourself onto Hello Kitty.
Hey, that can be kind of cool. Very intelligent, that Hello Kitty. But I guess we should move on from this one because Hello Kitty, New Line Cinema, probably going to come out in 2020, get about 60% Rotten Tomatoes, make some decent Blu-ray sales, move on with life. But who knows? It might be a masterpiece. Or if they try to do like we're going to be funny and kooky, we know we have a silly concept, and we're going to let you know about it every 5 seconds. If it's going to be one of those, you can count me out even more. I'm not going to see it anyway. But anyway, speaking about whack-a-dack, Netflix and Steven Spielberg are apparently having a big old spat. And by spat, I mean Steven Spielberg doesn't want those Netflix movies to be taking his precious awards away from the Oscar awards.
What awards? When's the last time he's had an award?
That's a good question. I don't know when the last time he won an Oscar is. I
When's
think he won one for Ready Player One.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was the last time he didn't make a movie that I feel like was a parody of his other movies?
Did he make one for? I don't even remember. I forget about the Ready Player One. Well, obviously he's changed a lot as he's gotten older, as most directors have done. He's he's not the director that he was back in the 80s and 90s. But he is still a very respectable name, and he's still a really awesome like director. Still, in some regards, like BFG and Ready Player One aside. But he wants to make sure that Netflix movies are not eligible for the Academy Awards. What do you think about that?
I think that's selfish.
Why?
Because no matter how a movie is, it should be eligible for its merits.
Well, I'm kind of with you. I think a big reason that I've seen articles all over the internets that basically just try to say, well, it's because he's afraid that movie theaters are never going to be prosperous again, or he's afraid that these new Netflix streaming platforms are going to take away from like the speciality of like these big movies. Now movies, it's going to be like the music industry where like nobody's going to get budgets anymore. You know?
It might be because Amblin Entertainment might lose some funding.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that's that, but I mean that begs a good discussion that like Netflix and like when you include Netflix, you would have like eventually you're gonna have to include different things like Amazon or
throw best streaming film of the year.
Yeah, but like I just feel like that's just the new medium. That's the new trick of the trade, and I feel like Netflix has opened up. Netflix has had some amazing movies in the last few years. Granted a lot of them suck, but a lot of them are great. And the fact that you can bypass that whole system of like trying to get into a theater, trying to get distribution, trying to get somebody to pick this movie up, and now you have a platform where you can just kind of cut that out and just release it to the world like this.
You do like best web movie of the year, best actor in a web movie.
Well, I mean, they're still movies. They're made just like anything else.
Just have like a new section of the Academy Awards dedicated to web films.
I have no idea. I don't think you should make a separate category for it, but because I believe Roma was a Netflix movie. I think that was just as good as any other movie up there. Should it not be eligible for Best Picture? I think that's a bunch of BS. Yeah. But when you include Netflix, eventually you got to include all the other ones and everything.
It was a big load of BS. Had no plot to it. It was really boring.
Oh well, and
so many subtitles.
That's your opinion. Well, you read them in the wrong subtitles in the language you don't speak.
Oh no, it was on Netflix.
Yeah, well, I'm saying like, oh, you did? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, man. I got Netflix.
Oh, I didn't think you actually paid for anything like that.
My parents do. I don't pay for it.
Oh, well, I was wrong.
They got Netflix.
It was worth a shot, guys. Yeah. But I'll leave it at this kind of thing. Like I touched on before, I think that there's a lot of fear that these new streaming platforms are eventually going to become the new trick of the trade, as I just said, and money is going to be starting to drain out of these big movies that people want to make, and budgets are going to cut because movies are not going to make as much money as they used to. Like music, like it happened in the 90s. Everyone started sharing music, and so budgets started getting cut because the internet came out and music started getting out really cheap, and you can buy singles and everything. So I mean, I figure that's probably where the world's going. I love movie theaters. I love going there. I love the experience. I hope they never go away. And I think that's probably half of why he's doing this. But I don't think that you should cut Netflix movies out.
I don't think. I believe that all this is it's the dollar signs. That's why he doesn't want it up there. He's worried that if online films made by an online production company can go and get awards, he's probably worried he's going to lose work for Amblin Entertainment.
That's kind of where I was going at too. But I don't know. You guys can leave a comment.
It's about the greed, bro.
You can leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC.
Money.
Yeah, and
it's all about the money.
You can leave a comment right there and let us know your opinions on all of these subjects, but especially that last one. The last one seems like the most interesting to me. But anyway, we're going to take a really quick break, but when we come back, fun segment with Tyler and I. What is it? Stay.
When it comes to culinary arts, Nash Community College is here to turn your burning passion for food into a career. Our chefs, with over 70 years of highly qualified industry experience, are here to point you in the right direction, teaching and handing down classical culinary techniques that will improve your skills and help you cut your way into the food industry. Gain invaluable experience, vital to cooking and preparing delicious food, served in a personal and creative environment. To learn more about the Culinary Arts program, visit nashcc.edu.
We are enrolling, guys. Welcome back to Big Bang Cinema. My name is Isaac the La Anderson.
I'm Tyler, and I'm still cold keen.
Still cold?
It's really cold in here.
Well, Nash Community College, if you're listening, air is on. Love you guys. Yeah. Speaking about lovely guys, lovely things in the world, sometimes movies come out in sequential order and have what's called a series
or a grand, and if all series things must come to an end unless it's
Much like
extremely
most of my relationships, they do come to an end.
unless it's owned by Sony or has an extremely profitable margin of money.
Yes.
So
that's why we are going to go
today,
to our segment.
we are talking about movies today, series that have ended, and they've ended on a really high note.
So we're specifically talking about best series enders or like finales. There was a big argument. Should we just say finales or enders?
I say grand finales.
I wrote the page, so I said enders.
But we spell grand with an E, so it's like, that's fancy.
Well, anyway, you kind of get the point. That this is the last film in a series of films, and to see if they go on a high note. Because a lot of the times they're very, very disappointing. They kind of let you down. But there's a few that are really, really awesome. I feel like they're worth talking about. So I guess I'm going to be able to go first. There was a movie, I think 2 years ago, that came out that you and I saw, and we had sit in our seats about 10 minutes after the movie to think about how great this movie was that we just watched.
Yes.
And I'm talking, of course, about War for the Planet of the Apes. Which is probably one of my favorite movies that I've seen in a very long time. It's incredible. The movie's awesome.
Great.
And
Fantastic.
I went into it. I'm like, oh, this movie's going to be okay. It's going to be an action movie. It's going to be a post-apocalyptic thing with apes, and it's going to be kind of cool. Woody Harrelson's going to show up at one point. I didn't realize it was going to be as good as it was. This movie was awesome.
It was good.
And especially the two that came before it. I remember seeing those. I'm really intrigued. The character Caesar that Andy Serkis plays. He's not really like there physically. I mean, he is, but like the CGI over him and everything, it's very real. It's very convincing. His performance, the motion capture in this movie, is really wonderful, and I can see how far it's come over the years.
And the effects, I mean, the apes didn't look digital. It looks like the apes were just right there with them.
And a lot of that has to do with performance, and I think that was just a wonderful thing that Andy Serkis did, portraying Caesar like that, and to see his progression from under James Franco to James Franco no longer being there, darn, and eventually becoming the leader to this pack. And I thought this was there was some beautiful imagery in this, and there was also like an amazing story. And Woody Harrelson as the villain was awesome. And to see the humans what they have done to try to this last bit of survivalness to go. I thought that was awesome. I loved this movie to death, and it was one of the best finales I think I can think of in recent memory. But I don't know. What do you think about this?
It was fantastic. I loved it.
I loved it too. So Tyler, what do you got to say?
I'd say Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter movie.
I thought you were going to say The Last Hairbender.
Not the hairbender. Not the hairbender.
Not the hairbender.
Okay, I guess I'd say the Harry Potter because I'd say the Deathly Hallows Part 2. It was really good. Really good film. It ended everybody's story in a really nice, packaged, tight little way. I mean, a little tight bow, which is great. And just at the end where Harry Potter had the wand and he didn't break it, and in the book he didn't break, he kept it, but in this one they actually have him break the wand, throw it over the bridge. I'm just like, brilliant. This was the greatest writing I have ever seen. It's fantastic.
If my buddy Tyler's watching, it's an inside joke. But,
yes. So it was really good. Oh my gosh, especially like the very end, we had the snake and and it shows them old at the very end. It was just great. And it shows them like starting all over, and he's finally got the family he's always wanted, and he's finally a part of something. I feel like he's finally did what he was supposed to do, and it's just great. Everybody ended up, almost everybody, the people who didn't die ended up.
The people that didn't die. Well, technically Harry died in it too. Spoilers for a nearly 10-year-old film.
Yeah.
My goodness, this movie's been out for 8 years. Can you believe that?
I can't believe that.
It's nuts to me. But I saw this movie again recently. I watched the whole series again. This movie definitely holds up. It's a really awesome, especially the series have been kind of leading up to this, and the last few movies got shifted tones because it started out, this whole franchise was kind of like nothing but like kids adventure novels, and then it came to like
murder and then dying and
it started
demons
getting more serious and serious as it went on. They earned that too. I mean, it was really interesting to see these kids that like went from like the Sorcerer's Stone and kind of like the happy, everybody's happy, to like all this kind of the war and everything that's going on. It really worked for them, and to see these kids grow up and actually turn out to be good actors was probably the best thing.
And they get Harry Potter finally gets his doctorate. He's been there for how many years?
I know he was there for quite a while.
Yeah.
But this movie.
He's been there longer than I've been here.
Yeah, you've been here at Nash Community College probably long enough to get a doctorate, my man.
Yeah.
Overall, this movie is just. I hate to say wonderful, like because I've said that about the other one, but like it ends this whole franchise of somebody that we've been following for years and years, nearly a decade at that point, in such a really marvelous way, and sends him off in a really awesome way. And also, I love the fact that he breaks the Elder Wand in the end. It totally fits his character.
Yes,
but
it does.
we're gonna leave it at that. I guess we should talk about let's both talk about this last film, because I feel like this one was definitely, it's one of the only ones. It's actually the only one on the list that won Best Picture, and it's not Crash.
That was garbage.
Remember Crash?
That was garbage.
Because I don't. Oh my goodness, that was a movie that happened. But anyway, this is Return of the King. This is amazing.
And it's not The Lion King either.
Not The Lion King. This is Return of the King. This is the third film in the
Lord
Lord of the Rings franchise. Tyler, you were 97 when you saw this film.
Well, I was in 97 when I read it, so...
Yeah.
Okay, I have to say, like, I really enjoyed it. I have to say, like, this is probably, out of the whole series, probably my favorite one.
Really? I don't think it's my favorite one.
Well, I'm sorry, was The Hobbit your favorite one? So?
Yes, the Battle of the Five
Okay,
Armies, and there's only
yeah.
4 armies. It's definitely my favorite of this franchise. But Return of the King, this one had so much hype, and it was also like 3.5 hours long, wasn't it?
It was close. If you watch it on, like, if you're watching on FX, it'll be about 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's long.
But what was some stuff that really stood out about it that really made you think this was like one of the best franchise enders?
The ghosts, when they wrecked all them elephants, they just went flying right across the bay and just ripped everything apart. That was pretty awesome.
I thought that was
I'd
really
say the
awesome.
effects at the time in it were fantastic, and it was really ambitious, very ambitious film, and the acting was great.
I would say the performances and the direction are definitely. Peter Jackson was at the top of his game, and specifically because he filmed all these movies at the same time, and all these actors gave really awesome, consistent performances. You have such, like memorable characters like Gandalf. You got Sauron, and you have Frodo. You got
Saruman.
Yeah, sorry, Sauron. Sauron's the guy.
Sauron's the eye. Saruman is the wizard.
That's what I meant. It's been a while since I've seen the movie, guys. If that was a test, I would not pass.
No, you wouldn't have. You would have failed. Totally failed.
No laughs.
Pippin
Okay.
and Marion and...
Yeah, well, it's been a while since I've seen this movie, but something like you did say was the effects. I think a lot of the effects do hold up. I think some of them don't, specifically CGI ones. But I love the fact that this is kind of the dying breath of like practical and digital effects kind of marrying in a really beautiful way before everything went straight into the box. There's some amazing models that they made for the buildings and whatnot. There were some amazing set pieces, beautiful, beautiful things. And when you look at The Hobbit, when he had all this control with these computers and everything, it looks like hot garbage. And it's a real shame that we're going to go past that. But the story ends in such a really awesome way. And it was very close to the novel, I think.
Yeah,
But,
see, I love this one because, all the creatures, all the orcs and goblins and the dwarf, that's all like practical effects, it's all makeup, and you go back and you watch The Hobbit, all the orcs are like CGI'd and
yeah, they look terrible.
looked horrible.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Hold on. You thought, you and your scientists thought if we could, you never thought if we should. You thought if you,
Jurassic
if you
Park,
should.
we got it. Yeah, we got it. But guys,
life will find a way.
Life will find a way. I like your Jeff Goldblum impression. At first, I just thought you couldn't get the thoughts out. But it was just Jeff Goldblum.
Yeah,
but
Jeff
guys,
Goldblum.
what do you guys think about the things that we talked about today? You can leave a comment at facebook.com/Studio67NCC. And if you're from another country, how'd you find us? Mm-hmm. We just want to know. Because apparently a lot of people from different countries watch our show.
And
So
if I
thank
can
you.
remember, we are banned in Germany and France.
Well, a lot of things are banned there. And that's called the No Fun Police.
Yes.
But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. We love every single bit of you.
UK, we're coming for you next.
Guys, my name's Isaac the Lola Anderson.
I am Tyler. I'm ready to go get in front of a heater king.
Stay lovely. Have a good weekend.